Jessica Brown, and I am the creative director and founder of the Vallejo Filmmakers Network. And what you are watching is a collection of videos that are really just to help you get ready for the upcoming California statewide direct primary on June 5th, 2018. So far, what I've covered in this series of videos is the different propositions that you'll see on the California ballot and the voter rights. And now I'm just going to kind of go over some of the other information in this resource guide before going on to the candidate statements. Alright, so here we go. Elections in California. The top two candidates Open Primary Act requires that all candidates for a voter-nominated office be listed on the same ballot. Previously known as partisan offices, voter-nominated offices are state legislative office, U.S. congressional offices, and state constitutional offices. In both the open primary and general elections, you can vote for any candidate regardless of what party preference you indicated on your voter registration form. In the primary election, the two candidates receiving the most votes, regardless of party preference, move on to the general election. If a candidate receives a majority of the vote, 50% plus one, a general election still must be held. California's open primary system does not apply to candidates running for U.S. President, County Central Committee, or local offices. Write-in candidates for voter-nominated offices can still run in the primary election. However, a write-in candidate can only move on to the general election if the candidate is one of the top two vote getters in the primary election. Additionally, there is no independent nomination process for a general election. Superintendent of Public Instruction is a nonpartisan office. If a candidate for Superintendent of Public Instruction were to receive a majority of the votes, at least 50% plus one at the primary election, then that candidate would be elected and no general election would be held. Additional information on nonpartisan offices can be found below. California law requires the following information to be printed in this guide. Whoa, let's read it. Voter-nominated offices. Political parties are not entitled to formally nominate candidates for voter-nominated offices at the primary election. A candidate nominated for a voter-nominated office at the primary election is the nominee of the people and not the official nominee of any party at the general election. A candidate for a nomination to a voter-nominated office shall have his or her qualified party preference or lack of qualified party preference stated on the ballot, but the party preference designation is selected solely by the candidate and is shown for the information of the voters only. It does not mean a candidate is nominated or endorsed by the party designated, or that there is an affiliation between the party and the candidate, and no candidate nominated by the voters shall be deemed to be the officially nominated candidate of any political party. In the County Voter Information Guide, parties may list the candidates for voter-nominated offices who received the party's official endorsement. Any voter may vote for any candidate for a voter-nominated office if they meet the other qualifications required to vote for that office. The top two vote getters at the primary election move on to the general election for the voter-nominated office, even if both candidates have specified the same party preference designation. No party is entitled to have a candidate with this party preference designated move on the general election unless the candidate is one of the two highest vote getters at the primary election. Alright. More research. Nonpartisan offices. Political parties are not entitled to nominate candidates for nonpartisan offices at the primary election, and a candidate at the primary election is not the official nominee of any party for the specific office at the general election. A candidate for a nomination to a nonpartisan office may not designate his or her party preference or lack of party preference on the ballot. The two top vote getters at the primary election move on to the general election for the nonpartisan office. The future of voting in California. Starting in 2018, all registered voters in Sacramento, San Mateo, Madrid, Nevada, and Napa counties will receive their ballot in the mail weeks before the election. Voters in participating counties will have 3 choices for how to vote. You can mail your completed ballot as soon as you receive it. Dropbox. You can drop off your completed ballot at any county Dropbox as soon as you receive it. No postage is required at Dropboxes. Vote Center. Vote centers will replace polling places. You can vote in person at any vote center in your county. Vote centers will be open for a minimum of 11 days up to and including Election Day. At every vote center, you can vote in person, register to vote or update your registration, drop off your completed ballot, get a replacement ballot, vote using accessible voting machine, and get help in voting materials in multiple languages. Why the change? The California Voters' Choice Act became law in 2016 to make voting more convenient and accessible. You can choose how, when, and where you vote. When do I vote? You will receive your ballot in the mail weeks before the election. After completing your ballot, you may return it by mail or at any county Dropbox or vote center. Vote centers will be open for in-person voting for 11 days up to and including Election Day. Where do I find a Dropbox or vote center? voterschoice.sos.ca.gov. And what if I don't receive my ballot by mail? Visit any center in the county or call your county register to request a replacement. What if I'm not in a participating county? If you live in a county that's not currently participating in the Voters' Choice Act, you will continue to vote either by mail or a polling place. Contact the Secretary of State's toll-free voter hotline at 1-800-345-8683 for more information. Alright, that was that. The next thing that we'll be going into is the statements. But before we get to that, I just remind everyone that this is the voter registration guide for California, June 5th. And it's got about 5 propositions, 68 through 72, for you to vote on. And you will also be voting on your U.S. Senator, your governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, controller, state treasurer, attorney general, insurance commissioner, board of equalization, district 1, 2, 3, and 4, and your superintendent of public instruction. Quite a bit. It's quite a bit of information. This is what I'm looking at. You should have received it in the mail. If you haven't, you can get it online. If you can't get it online, you get it at your library. If you can't get it at your library, you can probably get it from your neighbor. Or in the streets, because I see a lot of them all over the place. So, yes. This again is the California statewide direct primary. And my name is Jessica Brown, creative director and founder of the Blayo Filmmakers Network. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.